Hi, I'm Walt. Ham radio call sign K4OGO. You know, to me, radio is more than just ham radio and getting on the radio and talking to other hams. I've been a big fan of shortwave radio and medium wave, which is American would call it AM broadcast radio, for a long time, over 50 years since I was a real young kid and started out in this hobby of radio. There are some interesting things on the radio, and I'm here in Europe right now on a temporary assignment for work, and I've had the pleasure of listening to pirates. Yeah, pirates on the radio. What is a radio pirate? Well, it's someone who is broadcasting without a license. So I'm going to give you a quick history of pirate radio here in Europe, as well as some other parts of the world, and then show you a few examples of what I've experienced here in Europe. Stick around. First, with some history. Pirate radio came about out of necessity. The UK government had a lockdown on radio. It was all government controlled, and the BBC was the only thing you could hear. No way you could hear modern popular music then, back in the 60s. So, out of this grew Radio Caroline and Radio London. These were offshore ships that went offshore into international waters and broadcast to bring popular music to the UK. There are a few movies out, and one of them in particular, The Boat That Rocked, as it's known in the United States, or pirate radio in the rest of the world. It's a great movie that kind of shows and documents what this was all about. This was a little close here, a little bit of fiction in this movie, but well worth the watch. Another one in New Zealand, Radio Hauraki, did the same thing. They were under pressure from the New Zealand government. They were playing nothing more than basically old standards and elevator music, and they wanted to get rock and roll out there to the crowd. And this is how they did it. They went offshore and created an unlicensed pirate radio station. Some of these radio stations are now licensed, and you can actually hear them online, or if you're in that area, you can actually hear them on FM or AM on the terrestrial broadcast bands. Pirate radio was wildly popular in the 90s in the big cities of the UK like Manchester and London. The guys would get out and get their beats out that wouldn't get played on the radio. This was also popular in the United States, if you remember. There was a great movie out called Pump Up the Volume that showcased these FM pirates. FM pirating still exists, but the thing I really like while I'm here in Europe is listening to the pirates on shortwave. I have my ham radio transceiver with me, and it has a general coverage so I can listen to some pretty cool things over the shortwave bands. You can get up and running and do this really cheap. There's some affordable shortwave receivers that you can get for just a few dollars, and I would highly recommend maybe getting an antenna with it too. I'm personally using my long wire ham radio antenna out the back to pick things up with this. There's some great resources online, and one I highly recommend is hfunderground.com. They usually post right away the frequencies that these pirates are on, which I was listening to from around 6,000 kilohertz to 7,000 kilohertz. Here's one I heard called Hit Mix Radio. I can only play like a quick part of this because of the music, and I don't want to get shut down from YouTube for playing a song with a copyright on it. But here's a brief showing of what I heard on 6185 Hit Mix Radio. Another cool pirate I heard was called Offshore Radio, and what they were doing, they were playing old clips, basically that were recorded from old pirate radio. It was pretty cool. Give it a listen.
Practically anyone in Britain who has anything to do with unauthorized radio stations will face the prospect of a 2-year prison sentence under the government's bill to banish the pirates, published yesterday. The only people who are not threatened are the listeners. Mr. Short, the Postmaster General, is confident that the Marine Etc. Broadcasting Offences Act will sound the death knell of the offshore stations. The bill makes it illegal to broadcast from ships, marine structures, or from aircraft. Everyone, from advertisers to ferrymen, from disc jockeys to publishers of programming
shortwave. I've also listened to a lot of AM radio, or medium wave radio as we call it. It's really neat. I brought over a little loop antenna and a Walkman, and I have a speaker I jack into the Walkman, and it's really cool because at night I can tune it and aim it at the United Kingdom and listen to English-speaking radio, which is really cool. As a matter of fact, I listen to Radio Caroline on it.
Online, on 648 AM, on your smart speaker, and on DAB. This is Radio Caroline.
So this has just been a brief, pretty generic rundown of pirate radio. It still exists, and it's wonderful. You know, modern music would not be what it is, not just in Europe, but in the United States, had these pirates not existed. I think, you know, I'm the father of a recording artist, and I know that the stuff you listened to was shaped way back when, you know, years ago, by the music that was pumped into areas by the pirates, especially in the United Kingdom. So it's pretty cool. And you know what? I think my influence on my son kind of, I don't know, it wore on him a little bit, as you can tell. This is part of the lyrics to his newest song that he just released. All right, a little shameless family promotion there. But if you're interested in hearing that entire song, I'll put a link to it down in the description. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. There's so many resources out there, and I just scratched the surface. Frequencies and things like that, go to hfunderground.com. If you want to see an amazing YouTube channel, this guy to me is the best when it comes to stuff like this. Ringway Manchester. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the description as well. Man, I learned so much from this guy, and he's really a knowledgeable person when it comes to not just pirate radio, but radio in general. It's a great channel. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, just a brief rundown. This is what I'm doing here. Other than ham radio, I'm also, you know, scanning the dial and listening to other forms of radio. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to do a few other things other than just my ham radio videos that I do. I enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. I love everything radio. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Walt, amateur call sign, Kilo 4, Oscar, Golf Oscar. Ring that bell, subscribe, and see you soon.